Hey guys, it's Lynn Pratt. Thanks for joining me. I've gotten quite a few emails and messages asking me about the palettes that I use, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of information. So I don't use a typical palette where all my paint stays in wells on the outside of the palette and with it. Because I change out paintings that I'm using so much, I like to actually just use plates instead. And then I put my paints in these little cups. So I take the tube of liquid paint. So if I have my tube of paint have a certain color, I just put a little label on my cup and I squeeze out my tube of paint into my cup, and then I can close it and seal it, and it stays liquid and really nice. If it does dry out at all, I just open it up, give it a few squirts with the water bottle, and it works fantastic to re-wet. That way when I'm working on one painting or another, I can easily just put my little cups of paint right next to the palette that I'm using. On my palette, when I'm done, I'll just take a dry erase marker and I'll write what painting this is for. So say this was for my Star of David painting. If I'm going to come back to the painting later, I'll just take a dry erase marker and write right on it which painting this is being used for, put it off to the side, and then I can come back and just put my colors line back up instead of washing out a palette each time I go from painting to painting. So these are the palettes that I use the most. They're actually melamine plates from Target. They're like $1 to $3 depending on the size. You can see one is a salad plate and one is a dinner plate. So again, they're from Target. They're in stock right now. So this one is a salad plate. They are room essentials. So the salad plate I think is about 9 inches, and this might be about 11 inches is the dinner plate. So you can see this is the dinner plate from Target. They are super cheap. I can get a bunch of them, stack them up, switch them in and out really easily. They do stain the tiniest bit if I leave the paint on for a really long time, but not enough that it's caused any sort of problem. They do stay pretty white. My little paint cups, a lot of people have asked. You can get them at different art stores or you can get them on Amazon. I've found them in a bunch of places. So what they are, they're Masterson solvent cups. They come in a little package of about 10 of them, and they are 1.5 inch diameter and 3/4 inch depth, and it fits about a 1/2 ounce. So I don't put a full tube, I put about a 1/2 tube in at a time, and then I can refill them when I need it. But that's that little cup, that's how they come. And then you can just put your paint in them and put a little label on top so you know which paint is in which cup. The other type of palette that I've recently gotten that I really like, again, just a random Amazon find, are these right here. These are actually a ceramic plate, and they have little sections in them. So let's see, these ones are about 9.5 by 6 about. So I can just put all my paint in. So if I'm doing a painting where I really have many segmented colors, different shadow mixtures, things like that, it's really easy to use these because I can separate my paint out and don't have to worry about it flowing together on my palette. And then what I do is I just get some clear plexi acrylic and I cut it to size so it fits right over my palette. So then I can just take one palette, stack it right up, put another plexi down, stack it right up, and then if I have wet paint, if I'm going to lunch or going to do something else, my paint stays in here, it doesn't dry quite as fast, I don't get dust in it, my cats don't get into it, and then I can just leave these in a really nice stack off to the side, and I have my colors listed there. The other thing I do that's super handy is I will take I have a big book, and in it I have all of the colors that I use in a certain painting. So I'll write down the name of the painting, the date, and I'll write down all of the colors I used as well as the mixtures I used. So that way when I go back to a palette, I have written down which painting in a dry erase marker it is, but then when I go back, if I don't remember exactly which red or which green I'm using, I can go back to my binder, my little list that I keep of all my different paintings and all the colors that I use, so I can easily reference and switch paintings in and out on my desk really easily. So again, depending on which style you like to mix, there's the big flat plates. You can get them lots of places. I like personally a square plate instead of a round plate. I find that my painting is square, my paints are square, everything fits nicely, all my brushes fit right up to it, whereas if I have a round plate, it just takes up extra space on my desk. So I really like these. They have a really nice, good drip edge to drip your brush off of while you're painting. Which is key for me for sure. It has to have that lip or else it's not good. So you can find these, again, Target, Amazon. I find a ton of stuff at TJ Maxx kind of thing, but I really like these palettes. These don't have a specific name, so if you do, you just have to look up, paint palette or watercolor palette on Amazon to find those, and then you can stack them up nicely with some cut acrylic. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope that answers some of your questions and helps you out a little. If you need anything else, just leave a message in the comments. Thanks so much.